Well played.
Okay. Alex, would you grab the door, please? Whenever you are ready.
You're driving down the road with your 2-year-old daughter. A man runs a stop sign, T-bones your car, and kills her. You may wonder what made this man run the stop sign. The answer is simply a cell phone conversation. This is what happened to Patricia Denna in 1999, her daughter, Morgan Lee, the victim. In wake of publicity over deaths like Morgan's, much discussion has been brought up in the government about what should be done in response to talking on a cell phone while driving. I am here to discuss why the Wisconsin legislature should pass a law making cell phone use while driving illegal. As the amount of cell phones in this country is rapidly growing, cell phone usage is growing right along with it. According to Seal and Tovey, both professors at the University of Indiana, 86% of drivers surveyed talk on a cell phone while driving at least occasionally. This percentage correlates with your own answers to my questionnaire, in which all but one of you indicate that you talk on your phone sometimes to almost every time in which you are on the phone in the car. Clearly, cell phone use while driving is a large problem in our society today. It is important that the government does something about this growing issue to benefit the well-being of our own lives as well as saving the lives such as Morgan Lee. Today, I will discuss the problems involved with talking on the phone while driving, the cause of these problems, and what should be done in solution to these problems. Let's start by looking at some of these complications. The issue of talking on the phone while driving is a growing problem that needs to be addressed. According to the International Association for Wireless Telecommunications, 292.8 million people in the United States own cell phones as of June 2010. This corresponds to 93% of our driving population. It's obvious that cell phones while driving are by no means foreign objects to us, which is why problems with usage come about, especially when in relation to driving. In a federal study, they found that an estimated 11% of drivers are talking on their cell phone at any given time on the road. This is a lot of distracted drivers, all trying to reach their destination, while simultaneously being preoccupied by phone conversations. When put together, this causes a lot of problems. Each year, talking on a cell phone while driving causes an estimated 2,600 motor vehicle-related deaths, 330,000 moderate to critical injuries, and 1.5 million instances of property damage each year. Alone, the fact that thousands of people are killed each year due solely to cell phone conversations while driving, it makes it obvious to me that something needs to be done about this situation. Making it illegal could solve just this. There are many reasons as to why these problems come about. I will now explain to you some of the main ones. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has identified 3 different ways in which the use of a mobile phone can distract a motorist. These 3 components include the visual component, your biomechanics, and your cognitive side. Visually, you are impaired because you must look down in order to find your phone, dial, and if using a hands-free device, you must look down in order to enact it. Your biomechanics are affected by the fact that you are not able to use both hands on the wheel while dialing and when holding your phone during your conversation. Last off, cognitively, you're impaired simply by the conversation in which you are engaging with. These components are detrimental because they impair your ability to safely drive to your full potential, thus putting you and the people around you at danger of disaster. The National Transportation Research Board report indicated that drivers who are distracted will respond up to 1.5 seconds later to a hazard on the road than those who are not using a cell phone. 1.5 seconds in the driving world is huge. This amount of time can easily be the difference, and in many cases is the difference between getting in a crash and avoiding one. As Tom Vanderbilt brought up, the problem with driving is that we never know for sure when things are going to change very quickly. When the road, seemingly safe for a cell phone conversation, is going to turn into an obstacle course. Simply wait a few extra minutes to reach your destination, or just pull over to make that call to your friend. Problem solved. Another predicament with cell phone usage while driving is that many people overestimate their ability to do so effectively. The issue is lack of feedback. For instance, when you're dialing the phone, you may not completely stay in your lane, but you don't notice this because you're busy punching the buttons. Once you're done dialing, you look back up and you seem to be in control. The problem is you don't realize that you're leaving when your attention was towards your phone. You have caused a hazard and don't even recognize that you have done so. In this case, you are lucky because you did not cause a crash, but you may not always be so lucky. Tom Vanderbilt comments on people's decision to use cell phones while driving, saying, "Why do people act in ways that put themselves and others in harm?" It's a simple thought, yet so meaningful. Now that we have looked at a couple causes to the problems in which occur while talking on your cell phone while driving, let's look at what should be done in solution to these problems. The Wisconsin legislature needs to enact a law to make cell phones while driving illegal. Ultimately, this is the only way in which we can force people to stop committing such a dangerous act. The federal government warned citizens against talking on a cell phone while driving, but no legislature has completely banned it. This raises a lot of questions in my mind. If they have enough knowledge to warn our country about the dangers of it, then what is holding the federal government back, or even just individual states back, from making a law against such an act? As Assemblyman Joe Smitten once said, "It's a bill that will save lives. It's just that simple." Although no state has outright banned cell phone usage, there have been some legal acts taken. 8 states, along with Washington, D.C. and the Virgin Islands, have in fact put laws into place against handheld cell phones. This is a start, but is not good enough because the only aspect of driving that a hands-free device helps lessen is the biomechanical aspect, because the driver does not have to hold the phone. The visual and cognitive ends are still reducing your ability to pay attention because you must still dial, be able to enact your hands-free device, and engage in the conversation. It is important that the Wisconsin legislature do something about this problem. However, it will take time to put such a bill into place. In the meantime, the solution starts with us. In a study done by Charles Farmer, he found that the problem essentially does start with us. Not only because you sit in this room today, but because we as young adults are the biggest source to this problem. He found that cell phone usage declined with age. Drivers 18 to 29 use cell phones 16.4% of the time, and from there on, as age increased, usage decreased. As young adults, we use cell phones the most by a huge margin, which means that we are the ones who are able to make the biggest difference in the solution to this problem. It starts with us. We must be conscious of the hazards that cell phones while driving cause and resist the temptation to answer the phone the next time that it rings, or just simply pull over to make that phone call to your friend. I understand that it's not convenient for people to take these steps and that it seems like a nuisance, but think about this. Would you rather take a few minutes out of your day to make a call once you're done driving, or would you rather put you and the people around you at great risk of danger? Resist the temptation and set a good example for your peers, spreading the importance of this problem. In conclusion, I hope to raise your awareness about the problems that come about when people talk on their cell phone while driving. It may not seem like a big deal to you, but the facts say differently. It all comes down to the mindset that many people hold when they hear of tragic events. It's the whole, well, it won't happen to me idea that gets us. But what if something bad does occur because of your decision to talk on the phone while driving? What would you do then? You may never get a second chance. Although it is essential that the government enact a law to ban cell phones while driving, the solution really starts with us. Spread the word and help save lives. It's the little things in life that can essentially make a big difference. The little thing is resisting the temptation to talk on the phone while driving. The big one is keeping the road safe. It's time to make a proactive decision rather than a reactive decision, because it may just be too late. You don't get a second chance at life.